Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel and another video. As you may know, there is a new extension pack coming out next week. Next week. That has caused quite the kerfuffle. But we're not talking about that because we've already talked about that and we'll be talking about that again when it comes out. What you may or may not know is that at the same time or a couple of days before, the team will release a free update. They tend to do that with all of the expansion packs and everything, just because obviously they have to get the game ready. They normally pop in a few bits and bobs, and if there's any big items coming with the pack that they want in the free update in the game, they'll do that as well. So just thought we'd go through some of the things that are coming with the free update. So for those who don't plan on getting the pack or just do the base game, you know what's coming for you. So from what I've been seeing, from what I know, because they said in the live stream, this will come on the 2nd of June, which from when you're seeing this is a week and a day. So get ready for that. Some things that you're looking to get. First one is they are revamping some of the build and buy mode in terms of the object stats. So when you go on, you'll be able to see things like their water and power consumption and their reliability. The reliability was a stat that was already in the game, I believe, but you couldn't see it. Now you will be able to see it. From what I've seen, higher quality objects will use more power and water, but they will have a high reliability, so obviously they'll need to be repaired less and stuff like that. They'll also be adding some environmental gain for certain objects, I think mostly like wallpapers and stuff, which will, if you have the pack, that will obviously help with the eco, whether it's industrial or green scale. But I think with base game, it's just going to be things like it might affect emotions and stuff. And that's the take I took off it. You can turn those effects off in the game options. So if that's not something that you want, you can turn off that environmental gain. But that's generally it for the build and buy for the now. They are making also some off-grid improvements. Obviously they brought in the off-grid when they brought in Island Living, but it was never really a thing. Let's face it. It was quite hard to do. So they've now brought in a separate category for off-grid in build and buy mode, so you can now see what will work off-grid in one place. Obviously, if you've just got the base game, you'll just have the base stuff, but the more packs you have, the more stuff there'll be in there. So obviously that'll make it a lot easier to put things in there. Ladders are obviously the big thing that will come in. So you've got one ladder coming in the base game, and then if you get the pack, you'll have a second ladder. They tend to do that. They did it with things like the lounge chairs. They did it with things like the ceiling fans and stuff when they came in. They work inside and out, from what I've seen. I know definitely if you put it outside, it will say if you put it on the outer floor, say you had a 3 or 4 story house, you will be able to have one ladder that goes right from the top to the bottom. However, I'm unsure if you'll be able to do that inside. I don't think you will, but you might be able to. That might be a question to find out once we've got the patch and everything. So we're looking forward to that. Obviously that will help with a lot of building. Ladders is something that the community's wanted for a very long time, so that's good to have. Another thing that they've now we'll be bringing in is free placement of windows and doors. Something that will probably only really affect the builders of the community. For those who don't know, you can free place objects away from the grid by using the Alt key. Obviously that is also helped if you use like your move objects, your BB move objects. And it just means that you can move them off the grid, place them slightly differently. But up until now, you haven't been able to do that with windows and doors. So you'll be able to do that with this free update, which will be good because sometimes it is quite inconvenient. You probably will still have some graphics issues depending on the windows, depending on how you're trying to place them. Sometimes when you do stuff like that, it clips a bit and it takes out the glass from the window and stuff. But hopefully that it'll still be good. It'll still be good to have. That's not the biggest issue. Another thing that is coming is they are revamping bills and utilities, because not just with the new pack, but also with the base game, they are trying to bring in a more eco-friendly, more realistic gameplay, I would say. what you'll do is if you click on your mailbox, it will there'll be an option now that says show bill information. When you click on that, there is 2 sections to it. On the left hand side, I believe, it will show you a breakdown of the bills. There's a few different options. The first one is lot taxes, which is based on the lot and the house value. So you'll see generally how they tax it. Power and water, the consumption is also on there. That's obviously based on the items you have in the house and their power and water consumption. That's fairly self-explanatory. And then there's other taxes, which are services, fees, and unpaid bills. So I would imagine that would be things, say, if you had dine out and you don't pay your bills, normally you just get a little notification coming up saying, oh, it seems like you've forgot to pay your bill. Don't worry, we've charged it to your household. I think the stuff like that will go there now. And then there is tax breaks and penalties, which comes from lot traits and sim traits, management. And so that'll be, say, if you have off grid, you obviously will get a tax break because you won't be charged certain things because you're off the grid. I can't imagine now what will cause you to be charged more. That's only because I can't think of any of the lot traits off the top of my head. So, and then with that as well, on the right hand side, there is a section which is the management and consumption of water and power. Basically breaks down how much you're using. And then if you are overusing, because I believe in the base game as well, you will also get things like potentially wind turbines and stuff. I don't know if they're coming in base game. Apologies, I should have probably looked that up. I presume they might be, but I don't know. So sorry if they're not. Sorry if you listen to this and you get your home or something and they're not. I can't see them putting it in unless they do. But, you know, you can also store and potentially sell excess that you've created. It's a thing that happens in real life. If you've got a very, very eco-friendly home and you create too much power, for example, you can sell it back to the grid. I don't believe that will be fully functional unless you have the eco lifestyle. But it must have some functionality, otherwise I don't know why they would put that in, but there we go. Another thing that's coming is Repomen. When I first heard this, I was a bit confused because I was like, Repomen are in the game at the moment, but they're only in the Discover University pack, and they only come at the moment if you don't pay back your university loans. They are now updating the game, so I imagine they will reflect on previous Sims games where it's if you just don't pay your household bills after a couple of days. The bills tend to come on a Monday. So imagine if you probably haven't paid it by like the Thursday or Friday, your Repomen will come up and he will take away your things. Previous games, they used to just take things that were of the value of or similar to the money that you owe to the Sims Power Company, probably Landgrab Power Company. And I imagine they'll do the same. Another new thing that's coming is firefighters, which I know everybody's very, very excited for. And once again, from what I've seen of gameplay and stuff, they will work similar to how they have in previous games. So if you have a smoke alarm and you've got a fire in your lot, the smoke alarm will go off. The firefighters will be informed. They'll rock up to your house and they'll put the fire out. But you can also ring them off your phone as well if you don't have a fire alarm, or if it's in a section of the house. So say if you've got a fireplace in like a lounge or something, you're not likely to have a fire alarm there. So you can just ring them off your phone, because I don't know if it will go off if you've got perhaps a fire alarm in the neighbouring room. If you ring the firefighter, off your phone where there's no fire in the lot, what they do is they will still turn up, but you will get fined. The couple of bits of gameplay that I've seen, the fines being around 500 simoleons, but I don't know what will happen if you don't have that money. I presume maybe that will go into the revamped bills under your fees and services and stuff, and you'll have to pay it still. But we'll see. But obviously everyone is very excited about that, and it is a good thing that they finally brought that in. It just makes the game feel a lot more complete. So then another thing that is coming is they are redoing the inventory. As you know, at the moment the inventory is just a mess, and if you have more than about 3 items in there, you can't find anything. So what they're doing is they've now brought in the ability to categorise the inventory. You can filter items, like you can have favourite things. So if there's something that you would use a lot, you can obviously pop that in, and then you can filter items, and it's the categories of favourites, new items, books, collectibles, which is obvious, consumables, which is your food and drink items, gardening items, which is obviously seeds and plants and stuff like that, and then you've got your home and skill objects, which is self-explanatory, special items and that stuff that comes with careers or activities. And then you've got sim created objects, so that would be any paintings, sculptures, and then with obviously the various different expansion packs, you would obviously have your things like your candles and that from the eco lifestyle, and when they bring out nifty knitting, I imagine that will have anything from there in it as well. And then there's one like scrap, which is junk, etc., so any bits and pieces, parts and stuff. You can also now sort it in ascending and descending, so you can do it by name. I didn't actually see the full option, so apologies, but I imagine it'd be things like name, value, stuff like that. And you can also now sell all, so there's different filters that you can add on with the filtering system, which allows you to sell mass pieces, which is good because sometimes you get a lot of stuff in there and you want to sell it all at once. And then the last thing that's come in generally is they have updated the descriptions of the 3 base worlds. So as you probably may or may not know, I can't remember which expansion it started with, maybe City Living. They started naming the neighbourhoods, and there's a little bit over it that says, oh, this is the Spice District or the Fashion District and stuff like that, and it gives a little explanation over it. Ever since then, they have done that for each world, and now the 3 base game worlds are getting the same update. They've always had names, the neighbourhoods and stuff, but nobody ever knew the name of them, and now you will. I believe Willow Creek's got 4, the 3 neighbourhoods and then where the shops are. I believe Oasis Springs has 3, and then Newcastle also has 3. But that'll be good to see. So that's generally the breakdown of the bigger things that are coming in the update. You'll also generally get the normal stuff like bug fixes, etc, etc. So we'll see what that brings as well. Just to confirm, that comes on June the 2nd, which is Tuesday, June the 2nd. So you'll have to get that ready and all downloaded. And there you go. So I hope you found this video informative. I hope you liked it. I hope now you know what's going on. It is good that they're bringing in this good update, because people with the base game, they obviously deserve something as well. And it's not always a choice to not have any of the expansions, and obviously not everyone's going to want every single expansion. Not everything suits everybody's tastes, but we're good to go. So if you liked it, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I hope to see you in the next video. When the new expansion comes out, I will do a few videos on that if you would like to see them. Obviously, you'll know when they come out because I'll pretty much do them straight away. But turn on your little notification bell as well, just so you can see them. Thank you so much for watching, and I love you all. Thanks, bye.